So I used to know this guitar player. He was a really good guitar player, and he was quite a character. He used to tell these tall stories, sort of like this one, and he used to end every sentence with, "You know what I'm saying?" But I learned a lot from his solos, just listening to him play. He would play a phrase, and then he would very often just add a few extra notes to the phrase, sometimes quietly, sometimes quite aggressively, but it was so effective, and I started doing it too. And one day I realized that when he was playing a lick and adding those extra few notes, it was like him saying, "You know what I'm saying?" And then as I was listening to B.B. King, I realized he was doing it. And I listened to Santana and he was doing it. And I listened to John Mayer and he does it. So today we're going to talk about how to add the "you know what I'm saying" to your licks. So let's start with just E minor pentatonic easy shape. So what you're going to do is you're just going to memorize a tiny little phrase that's going to be your "know what I'm saying." It sounds like this. So it just starts from the root, it goes down a whole step, then it goes up to that minor third. It's kind of a bluesy ending because it's not ending on the root there. So I'm going to play a longer phrase and I'm just going to end it with that little "know what I'm saying." Let's do another one. Now, in a recent video, we talked a lot about phrasing and how we can use rhythmic targets for our phrases. For example, by doing phrases every 2 measures, because often in songs, chords will change every 2 measures. Now, in this 12-bar form, we have 4 measures of E at the top, but we can use the first 2 measures as a phrase and then use the remaining 2 measures as the "know what I'm saying." That's what we're doing here. We've got a longer phrase that covers the first 2 bars, and then a little bit of space and "know what I'm saying?" Here it is. Here's another one. I mean, it probably already sounds kind of familiar to you because it's in so many great songs, this concept. We could move the rhythm of the "know what I'm saying" to different strings. It could be, right? That's in fact the same notes. That's from the root, and then down, back to the root, and up to the minor third. So let's hear what the "know what I'm saying" sounds like up an octave. There we go. So now that's already covered us for the first 8 bars of the 12 bar just by doing a phrase and a "know what I'm saying" and another phrase and a "know what I'm saying," right? And we have a "know what I'm saying" in different octaves. And it doesn't matter too much which notes we choose as long as we pick just a little cool rhythm and we end on something that fits the chord underneath. So we could do something lower down, or we could do something higher up, or here higher. It doesn't really matter. And it doesn't have to be that many notes. It could be something really short. It could just be something like that was one note. Just a little interesting thing to add into that space so that we get lots of space, but we fill the space with just a little something to keep the audience's ears interested. So remember that on our Patreon, we have all these jam tracks available for download, plus practice tips videos, plus more similar videos, plus all the tabs that you can download and play. The link is below. Now, so far we've been hitting those little phrases pretty hard. Some artists, like Santana especially, early Santana, he'll do a tiny little phrase and he'll do it very, very quiet. It's like you don't even really notice it sometimes, except if you listen to the song with headphones, then you can hear these tiny little phrases after the main phrase. It'll be just like that. Really quiet. He barely hits it with the pick. So let's try a couple of those. Just a little tiny bit of texture. I mean, it's cool. You kind of notice it, but you kind of don't notice it. You feel it, you know? Now let's find our know what I'm saying in a different pentatonic shape, because we don't always want to be up here in easy shape, right? So let's find my other favorite shape, which some people call shape 4, and I call funny B string shape. Funny B string shape is I take my first finger on E and I play that shape, right? That gives me E minor pentatonic there. And remember that our know what I'm saying starts on the root. So in this case, it's, notice that it goes up to the funny B, second finger there, right? And the little phrase. So make sure that when you practice these little phrases that you do them in different pentatonic shapes. We want to be able to move around the fretboard pretty easily. And of course, these will also work in major pentatonic, right? So if I put pinky on E here and play E major pentatonic, so pinky at 12th fret, and my little phrase might change though, right? Because the context is different. I might want to end on the root here. I don't know. Who knows? Let's try the first 4 bars will be major pentatonic with a little phrase. And then the next 4 bars will be minor pentatonic with a little phrase. And the phrase. Minor. Phrase. Now, anything goes. Let's go back to major. Right there too. So it's one thing to just say, well, just add a few extra notes, but I want to give you some very specific few notes that are going to work well. So here's the most common lick that I use in 3 different places, right? We have in easy E minor pentatonic shape is the one we've been using, is right there, right? And then we would have that also up an octave. We played it up here, right? And we could even play that up in extension shape. It would be here. So practice these. Then you can make your own variations from there. So we have the major pentatonic versions as well. It's a little different because I want, with major pentatonic, I want to be ending on a root so that it sounds good, right? And major pentatonic one sounds like this. That's what I like to use. It sounds very B.B. King. Just to show you where that is, the context, put pinky on 12th fret. That's first finger pinky rule for E major pentatonic. There's my root. Right? The equivalent of that lick up an octave would be in E major pentatonic extension shape. Let's walk up to E major pentatonic extension shape. There's my root there, right? So the lick for major pentatonic is right there. We have and once you start to get a handle on these, you can create little variations of your own just by adding or removing notes or putting them in a different place in the pentatonic shapes. To get good at this technique, it's really important to practice along with jam tracks. And remember that we've got this specific jam track in our Patreon available for you. The link to that is below. Plus, I'm going to put another video on the screen here for you that will show you another really cool technique from this channel. My name is Blue Morris and I teach guitar lessons here in Vancouver. You can check out my book on Amazon. It's called Guitar Soloing Like a Pro, and I'll see you in the next video.